know that preparing your pantries isn't always just about you and your family, but it's about helping on those out in your community as well. So hi, I'm Darcy from the Purposeful Pantry, and I am your dehydrating BFF to teach you safe and practical ways to dehydrate food, to preserve it, to put food on your pantry shelf for your family to use whenever you need it, for however you need it, and to give it to whomever needs to have it as well. So if you ever wondered what to do with comfrey or with lemon basil, well, today we're going to learn how to do that for the benefit of those around us who are in need. So I have recently joined a new church, and the deacon and I have become friends. And she has a farm. It's called the Giving Garden, and it is a garden plus livestock that she does to help support the food pantries and another ministry here in our area that helps give food to those who really need it. And right now, no matter what you might hear, there are a lot of people in need and a lot of people who just need a helping hand. So part of what I think is so important about preservation of food is not just what it can do for my family and I, but what it can do for those around us who actually need. So this stuff that I have here is not just for us, but it's to give to people who need it. And another way for me to be able to help is going to Cindy's farm in order to help her preserve the food that she's growing that she can then turn around and use in other ways. What I'm doing is taking one of her crops that she has a bunch of, comfrey, and I'm drying it for her so that she can in turn make salve to help either go to a market day where she can raise money for the farm or she can use it in other ways. So we're doing that, plus dehydrating some lemon basil that I'm telling you makes wonderful tea, or in addition to any of your loose teas, but we'll be doing more of this in the future as well for her so that she can also use it. So let me show you how to dry the comfrey. Let me take you on a little tour of the garden so that you can get to know it. I'm going to have a QR code right here at the bottom that if you feel led to help donate to the farm to help support it, because it is all nonprofit. She works on donations, a little bit of income from the chickens and the eggs that they sell, but this is what she does. The thing that I love about this garden, not only fellow geeks, fellow nerds, you know what this means, is that the proceeds of this garden, everything they do is grown to feed the those who need food in our community. So everything they grow and produce here goes right into the food pantries, into a ministry that feeds some older folks. So I love this place. So then we're going to enter into the container garden where they have stuff growing. Some has been harvested already, some is getting ready. Look at all those peppers that we have. Stuff growing, tomatoes all over the place, herbs back there in the back. I love those sunflowers, they just make me happy. And if you can see there, and they've got some compost systems in the back ready for when they're putting stuff out for getting ready for compost that are full. And then, if you've seen them before, they're green stalks. This is a volunteer garden where they have folks come every weekend to help work on the garden, and then some during the week, like what I'm doing today, that can come harvest and get ready, that then can be taken to the food pantry locally. Or there is another ministry that they support that feeds people 55 plus in a community that they really, really need the food, because their support is just not enough to feed them. So this ministry is also feeding, and so the farm gives to that one as well. So I am a big, huge supporter of this farm. So if you, like me, are concerned about the folks who just cannot eat now, and you're doing your best in your local community, but you really want to help out some, I'm going to leave a QR code here in the video so that you can go and donate to the Giving Farm if you'd like. No pressure for anybody. It's just if you'd like to do that and help support a place that I feel really needs a lot of support. So here are the layers. There's a couple of tractors of these that they have eggs that they donate to the food pantry as well. Plus they do sell the eggs sometimes. They also have quail here. They sell quail eggs and quail meat to help fund the farm. Then we've got another tractor here for layers, and then this is a tractor of meat birds. So they do both. They donate chickens to the food pantry so that people can have fresh meat that's organically homegrown, as well as selling the birds to help fund the farm. So I am tired. Oh, look at this. Does anybody know what this is? I have never seen them in the wild. I know what they are. I've been told what they are, but that is the coolest thing to see them in the wild. Not the wild, it's in a garden, but I've still never seen them except for what I buy online. So here is what we're working with today. This is the comfrey. It's a giant comfrey plant that started with a 4-inch plant that we're going to be doing now to harvest for the farm so that they can begin making salve. And whatever else they decide to do with it. And then we're also probably going to do a little lemon basil that it is bolting now because of the heat, but we're still going to do it anyway because I tasted it. It still tastes great. It's not bitter, so I'll probably take some of that. And they've got some peppers interspersed in it. You can see one right back in there, I think. Yeah, there you go. So there you go there. Then we have passion fruit on the vine, which I think is so cool. And the flowers aren't quite open yet, but look how beautiful that flower is. It is so pretty. Right there. So they've got marigolds and stuff around the perimeter. More lemon basil, some peppers interspersed in there. They've got a couple of beds that are empty if they've harvested. Then here we go. As things have gone out, they're about to start replanting. Then we've got some okra, tomatoes, more tomatoes right here. And I know they've got green beans planted here, but they've got other stuff that's about to go into the bed that they've already taken out. Then out there are the chicken tractors and squash growing back there in the, I don't know if you can see it, I'm gonna get there by the tunnels. That tunnel is full of plants on the inside, and then this one here as well. Pull that one back out for you. So in the main high tunnel, they have two high tunnels, and this is the main planting one. Lots of tomatoes growing up, and I love this system where it's from the ground, and they have these string contraptions that you can loop around the plant and just let it grow all the way up to the ceiling. And then there you go, all of that there. And I probably should harvest those tomatoes and get them to the food pantry today too. There's a lot there. Yeah, there's a lot all the way down here. I may do that too to get them to the food pantry today. And oops, I'm gonna trip over something because you have to remember to look around. But that is the whole thing. And they have new plants going in where they've harvested other stuff and started turn around and replant. And I wish I was a good gardener that I could tell you what all this stuff was. I don't know what it all is. All right, so here we go. This is our comfrey in the big huge bag, and it's all packed down in that huge thing. It's a big bag. Plus a smaller bag full of potatoes at the bottom, lemon basil, and then some more comfrey on top that I can try to fit in. What I'm doing for her is I'm drying this stuff so that she can have it to have ready for making things that she needs to make to help promote the farm. Okay, so we have the comfrey in the sink. Going and soaking for just a little while. I just want to get whatever bugs and residue are off of it. Now what I'm doing is taking what I've already done with the lemon basil and just going through here and stripping the leaves off. So I'm not being too careful about this, just trying to pull off all the things. If you wanted to pull the buds off to dry for tea, do that because it will make a great tea as well. I don't know if you've ever seen Jess from Roots and Refuge Farm. She does a holy basil tea that's wonderful. I've done a basil tea of hers. I used regular basil instead of the holy basil because I didn't have it, but it was still a great tea. This would just elevate it completely to have that lemon flavor behind it. So we're going to save these and just kind of tuck them off to the side. And I am going to make those to put into my teas later because I'll just pop in. I drink a lot of loose tea and I drink a lot of bag tea, and I'll put it in with loose tea when I brew it, and it'll work great to add that lemon flavor to everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all separated and then onto trays to go into the machine, and then we'll get started on the comfrey. Okay, so now that I got my tray loaded, let me show you what I did. I did a double layer of mesh on the bottom so that I could keep the buds on the rack instead of them all falling through. I don't want to use a solid sheet for this because I prefer not to. So then what I've done also is I've taken another sheet of mesh and going to put it right over the top to help stop the buds from getting blown around. They're so lightweight, they may get blown around a little bit. This helps keep everything in place and so it can dry. And now before anybody freaks out, I'm not cleaning this up. More stuff is just going right onto it, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take the comfrey leaves and I'm just going to strip them off the stalk, because what I don't want to deal with right now is the stalk. Yes, you can dry it. Yes, you can use it, but I'm going to work with just the leaves because I have so much to try to get into the dehydrator that I don't have the space for all of it. The rest of it will go into compost to feed the food that feeds us. Just works out that way. So I'm just stripping everything down because also what I'm going to do is chop most of this up. It's not going to go in whole leaf. It'll take longer. But what I also don't want to do is make a puree out of it. I need it to stay as leaves, not puree. We're not going to powder this. We're just going to break this down into small pieces. I'm also using this as a time to take off any part of the leaves that I don't want to include in here, and then just going to town. Now, you know, you saw all that, and some of these look really wilty, and some of them are still big and strong and healthy. So having, you know, that one overnight of not getting these in water or getting them preserved, it's not going to kill them. We lost some moisture, but if you dehydrate, this is what's going to happen to them in the dehydrator anyway. Yes, we always want to use the freshest best foods that we can to preserve, because that's just what's going to make the best what you can do. But life happens, and sometimes when you're harvesting, you don't have enough time to get everything done at once. Or, you know, like with me yesterday, I felt horrible when I came home. Partly overheated, partly because as girls of a certain age, you might know the thing. Sleep is something that does not come easily to me. And I've had a rough couple of, almost a week now, of really bad sleep. And I just pretty much crashed yesterday. So I knew that this was there to work on, but I totally forgot about it. I got it started to set up earlier in the day, and then by the time I was done, my brain was no longer working very well. I crashed. So we're making the best of what we have right now. Now we have a giant pile of leaves. What are we going to do for this? I'm not going to push them aside and do something with them. I'm just going to start chopping. What I want is big pieces. I don't want tiny pieces, because I want to make sure that I give her whatever she needs in the end that she can do with. I don't want to get it so small that she feels like she can't work with it. But we do need to break this down some so that the leaves are smaller and will fit on the dehydrating trays better. And I can get more in. This is still... And I'm going to tell you again, if you're working with this stuff, especially if you're working with something that's a little older, wear some gloves. I already can tell that I'm going to really wish that I had gloves on earlier. I'm not going to bother to go try to find some now because the damage is already done. But I can already feel that just rubbing my hands, the little hairs in them are already in my skin. All right, so like I said, when I'm loading this tray, I'm not going to just pile on like I might for some other things that I know shrinks up really well. But I'm also not going to try to put each little leaf in a specific space. But I want to give it some room to have airflow in here, because these are bigger, thicker, more leathery kind of leaves. And I want to make sure that it gets good dry, especially since we're going on a lower temperature, to make sure that we get, you know, dried in an appropriate time. So that's probably about as much as I'm going to do. And because I just caught myself with my Excalibur, the tray matters about how you place it. Make sure you turn it the right way, Darcy. Okay, and so I have my lemon basil ready to go. Then all of my trays of the comfrey, and I did go ahead and put a mesh sheet over the top of these as I decided to pile them up a little higher. I put the mesh on to help sliding in and out easier so that everything doesn't get pushed to the back or the front. And so we have this set up for 16 hours ahead of time. It doesn't matter because we don't go by the time, we go by if it's dry or not. And then the temperature is 100, and let's get started. And it already smells good because that lemon basil is so smelly. All right, so here we go. Our lemon balm on the bottom of the thing. It is super dry and ready to go, and I'm telling you, it smells so good. Then all of our comfrey, just like that, dry, super dry, ready to pack up. So let's get started on how we're going to use this and store it. The comfrey is going into a jar to give to Cindy to be able to use whenever she needs it, as she needs it, to create whatever she's going to create. Most likely it's going to be comfrey salve that she can use in market days for the farm, or as a way to give away small bits of it so that she can do promotions. I don't know how she's going to use it. That's going to be up to her. But what I'm doing is making sure she gets it preserved so she can use it however she needs. Not to make such a mess. I'm going to crush it up just a little bit, because if you use it for a salve, you would crunch it up to do anyway. So we're going to make this just a little bit easier. I may have to get a second jar because this is all going to fit. Then again, I thought it wouldn't all fit in one dehydrator either. So doing this, I don't want to crush it into tiny pieces because I need to make it available to her to use how she needs to, but I also don't want to just leave little leaves. And I don't have bags that I can put this in, or I would give her just a couple of Mylar bags full. So yeah, we're gonna need a second jar. So I hope this helped. I know a lot of people go comfrey because they know they're supposed to, but then they go, but what do we do with it? Well, here's what you do. You dry it, then you make a salve, and I'm gonna leave it a link in the description box below and right up here in the iCards for you to be able to go to watch a video on how to actually create the salve. We're gonna jump right to that part so that you don't have to watch this stuff before, but that way you know how to make salve both at a slow and a fast infusion, because that's important to know that you can do it both ways, which I never knew you could do a fast infusion. So I hope this helps, because comfrey is one of those things that you can grow. You can use it for fertilizer in your garden. You can use it for ground cover. You can use it to, when you take all the leaves off and then use it for ground cover. You can use it for compost, you can use it to feed your chickens, and it makes a great healing salve. So I hope this helps. If you want to learn how I do dehydrating, how to go from start to finish with other projects, you can watch this video right here that takes you from start to finish on the simplest project there is to do to learn how to put food in your pantry for your family. So until I see you next time, remember that nevertheless, she preserves. No matter what's going on in the world, we can preserve. And I'll see you again next time. Happy dehydrating.